Radiant greetings to the one who stands at the edge of becoming something far beyond what they once believed possible. A greeting carved not from softness or comfort, but from an ancient furnace of power that has waited for your arrival through every silent night, every doubt-filled moment, every quiet victory that no one ever recognized, and every storm you survived alone. This greeting is not delicate. It is not casual. It is not meant for entertainment. It is a calling, a signal, a deep, unspoken acknowledgement that you have started moving in a way that the world cannot easily define. And now the weight of countless, unseen eyes has begun to turn towards you, not because you asked for attention, but because transformation always creates a noise that even the quietest rooms cannot ignore. They are watching you now, every single one of them. And the strange part is that you can feel it in the tension of the air around you, in the way people try to analyze your next move as if you carry a secret that they were never meant to understand. They don't know how you pulled it off. They don't know what changed inside you. They can repeat your steps. They can mimic your style. They can pretend they were there from the beginning. But deep inside, they know something rare has awakened a shift so sharp, so sudden, so undeniable that it leaves them wondering, what did you just do? And why does it feel like you are becoming someone they never imagined you could be? And the more they question, the more you rise. The more you rise, the more they question, because they are seeing something that defies explanation, something they cannot label, box, diminish, or predict. The truth is, even you don't fully know what you did when that moment came. The moment where you stopped letting your failures write your story and instead allowed your strength to speak. You didn't plan it. You didn't rehearse it. You didn't wait for permission. You simply acted from a deeper place, a place that most people never reach because they are too busy trying to be understood, while you quietly chose to become undeniable. And now the world is stunned because you moved without warning, without hesitation, without seeking validation. And that kind of movement terrifies people. It confuses them. It forces them to face the truth about themselves, the truth that they could have done it too, but they didn't. They hesitated, they delayed, they waited for the perfect time. They stayed safe while you stepped into the unknown and walked out, transformed. You see, there is something dark and powerful about stepping into a version of yourself that you didn't even know was waiting. The version that appears when everything in your life reaches a breaking point, when the old patterns collapse, when the illusions you carried fall apart, and all that remains is the raw, unfiltered force inside you that refuses to bow down to circumstance. The force that says keep going, even when your voice is shaking. Stand up, even when your knees are weak. Rise again, even when every part of you wants to disappear, because greatness is rarely born in sunlight. It is forged in the quiet, lonely shadows where people forget your name, where doubt feels heavier than hope, where every step feels like a risk, and every breath feels like a battle. And yet you keep moving, and that movement awakens something inside you that you didn't even know existed. The people watching you right now are confused because they saw the struggle. They witnessed the setbacks. They heard the noise of your failures. But what they didn't see, what they couldn't see, was the depth of your endurance, the silent discipline, the internal war that you refused to lose. And now you walk with a presence that can only be earned in darkness, a calm that comes from surviving storms, a strength that does not brag because it doesn't need to. The results speak louder than any explanation. And the more silent you remain, the louder your transformation becomes. They want to understand you, but they can't because you no longer move from the same place as before. You no longer chase the approval that once held you captive. You don't crave recognition. You don't need applause. You don't cling to external praise. Everything you are building now comes from a source within you that is deeper than fear, deeper than attachment, deeper than insecurity. It is the source that most people never activate because it requires losing the version of yourself that was built to please others. You lost that version and you stepped into something far more powerful, a version that listens only to purpose, only to discipline, only to the quiet fire of your own potential. People question what you did because they cannot trace it back to anything familiar to them. They cannot track your steps because you didn't follow the blueprint that everyone else follows. You broke away. You stopped waiting for a sign and became the sign. You stopped waiting for a moment and became the moment. You stopped waiting for opportunity and forged your own path. And that kind of shift does not make sense to those who move through life. Only when someone gives them permission, so they ask, "What did you do?" But the truth is you didn't do just one thing. You changed your entire direction, one decision at a time, one silent night at a time, one private battle at a time. And now the result is standing before them, undeniable, unstoppable, unsettling in its intensity, because it shows them exactly what they could have done but didn't. You don't even know what you did, because the transformation wasn't a single event. It was a collection of small choices, made with brutal consistency choices, that looked insignificant to the world, but monumental to your spirit. The times you woke up when you felt broken, the times you kept going when you were exhausted, the times you stayed committed when no one was cheering, the times you believed in yourself when everything around you suggested you shouldn't. These were not dramatic moments. They were silent, unseen decisions, but they built something enormous inside you, something that people cannot ignore anymore. And now here you are standing in a place that your old self would not even recognize, surrounded by people who never believed you would reach this level. Yet now, act shocked as if your success fell from the sky. They ask how you did it, but they refuse to understand the amount of sacrifice you endured. They want the glory without the grind, the reward without the resilience, the outcome without the internal transformation. But you have learned that real transformation cannot be handed to anyone. It is earned through a process that is dark, painful, lonely, and deeply personal. And yet it shapes you into someone who no longer depends on external validation. Someone who rises from a deeper place, someone who stands unshaken because they know exactly what they survived. The world is watching you now because they sense that you have entered a new era, an era where you are no longer controlled by fear or hesitation. You have shifted into a mindset that moves with purpose, precision, and resilience, and the people around you can feel it. Even if they cannot describe it, they feel your focus, they feel your determination, they feel the silent intensity that now surrounds you like a shield, and it unsettles them because it reveals everything they are running from within themselves. You don't understand fully what you've done, because breakthroughs rarely feel like breakthroughs while you're living them. They feel like struggle, repetition, doubt, discomfort, uncertainty. But when you look back, you see the magnitude of what you survived, and the world sees the result before you do. They see the momentum, they see the glow of someone who rose from their own ashes. They see the power of someone who refused to stay small, and that is why they stare with confusion and curiosity, because your evolution is unfolding in real time, and it is forcing everyone else to confront their own stagnation. You have become a reminder of what happens when a person stops negotiating with their potential, when they stop letting fear decide their future, when they stop asking for permission from people who are not even living their own dreams. Your very existence now challenges others because it shows them that the limits they cling to are not real, and that realization is uncomfortable. Transformation always disrupts comfort. It shakes the structure of everything familiar, and people react to that in different ways. Some admire you, some envy you, some fear you, some pretend not to see you, but all of them feel your presence because it is impossible to ignore someone who moves with conviction, someone who has fought their inner battles and emerged with clarity, someone who walks with a quiet force that cannot be manufactured. You don't even know what you did because it wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it wasn't a sudden miracle. It was you facing yourself and winning 1,000 internal battles that no one applauded, but every one of those battles carved the person you are becoming. And now the world sees a transformation that looks sudden, but was built through years of unseen effort. You became the proof of your own resilience, the evidence of your own power, the testament of your own endurance. And though you may not fully grasp it yet, you have crossed into a version of yourself that others can sense, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. Now they watch you, not because they want to congratulate you, but because they are trying to understand the blueprint of your rise. They want to decode your strength. They want to dissect your discipline. They want to understand your calm, your focus, your conviction. But they won't find the answer, because the answer is buried in every moment where you refuse to give up. The answer lives in the places where you were broken, but kept moving. The answer is etched in the version of you that never receives recognition, but still chooses to fight for a better reality. The answer is inside your spirit, and no one else can truly understand it, because no one else lived your battles. And as they watch you, you must continue moving, not with arrogance, but with clarity, not with pride, but with purpose, not with fear, but with determination. Because the truth is, their eyes do not define your direction. Their confusion does not slow your momentum. Their doubts do not shape your destiny. You have already proven that your greatest steps come from within, not from applause, not from approval, not from admiration. You built yourself from the inside out, and that kind of foundation cannot be shaken by opinion or judgment. They are watching you now, but they are only seeing the beginning. They believe you have already done something unbelievable, but they do not understand that this is only the first spark of what you are becoming. The world sees a result. You see a starting point. Their amazement is simply a preview of what is coming, because once you unlock a piece of your potential, you cannot go back to the smaller version of yourself. Once you taste the power of your own discipline, you cannot return to the habits that kept you stagnant. Once you rise from your own darkness, you cannot be dragged down by the shadows of others. You don't know what you did because you are still unfolding, still discovering, still expanding. And that is the beauty of your journey. You are not done, not even close. You are just beginning to see what you are capable of. And that realization is stronger than any praise, any attention, any confusion the world projects onto you. They watch you because they sense that something extraordinary has awakened inside you, something that is rising with each passing day, something that is unstoppable when you choose to nurture it. And the truth is, the most powerful version of you has not even arrived yet. You are moving with a force that comes from deep within, a force that was built through resilience and shaped through endurance, a force that compels you to keep climbing, even when the world tries to pull you down. And the people who watch you now will soon realize that your rise is not a coincidence, but a consequence, the result of everything you faced and everything you refused to surrender to. You did not stumble into this version of yourself. You earned it in silence, in struggle, in solitude. And now you walk forward with a power that you once wished for, but now embody. You don't even know what you did, because transformation is not something you notice in the moment. It reveals itself in the mirror of the world around you, in the way people react, in the way they stare, in the way they whisper with uncertainty and awe. But the truth is, you are not here to be understood. You are here to fulfill a purpose that is bigger than explanation and greater than their expectations. Your job is not to answer their questions. Your job is to continue evolving, continue growing, continue rising into the person you are always meant to become. And as you do, the world will not be able to look away. Not now, not ever. Because once a person ignites their true potential, they become impossible to ignore. They watch you with a kind of fascination that they cannot explain. Because what is unfolding within you does not follow the rules. They were taught, your growth is not a gentle rise, but a deep internal expansion, a silent breakthrough that refuses to be ignored. And every time you take another step, they feel something shift inside themselves, a mixture of awe and discomfort, because your journey reminds them that they too once had dreams that they abandoned for fear of failure, while you, on the other hand, walked straight into your own storm and came out forged by the very fire that should have destroyed you. And that truth unsettles them more than they will ever admit. They stand on the sidelines trying to analyze you without understanding that the moment you stepped into your own potential, you created a distance between who you were and who you are becoming. A distance they cannot cross because they were not there in the quiet hours where your transformation began. You continue moving forward, not because it is easy, but because you have tasted something that most people never dare to reach. You tasted what it feels like to become the version of yourself that you used to imagine in silence, the version you once believed was impossible. The version built through persistence and discipline and a level of mental strength that only grows in darkness. And now that you have felt that power, you cannot turn back, because turning back would mean betraying everything you endured, every tear, every doubt, every moment. You asked yourself if you had enough strength left to continue. And still, you rose, and still you moved, and still you held on to the faint spark inside you, until that spark grew into a flame. And now that flame refuses to die. They do not know how you managed to carry yourself through those nights where it felt like the world was collapsing around you. They do not know how many times you stood alone in silence, questioning everything, yet pushing forward anyway. They do not know how many heartbreaks, how many disappointments, how many failures shaped the person standing before them today. And that is why they stare in disbelief, because they are looking at the result, not the process. And the process was a battlefield that you walked through with nothing but willpower and raw determination. And now that the scars have turned into strength, they think your rise was sudden, but you know the truth. Your rise was built from every moment where you refused to surrender, even when surrender looked easier than fighting. You have become a living reminder that growth does not begin in comfort. It begins the moment you decide that your fear will no longer guide your path, the moment you choose to face uncertainty with courage, the moment you embrace the unknown without hesitation. And as you continue to grow, you begin to realize that the world is not reacting to what you have done. They are reacting to what you are becoming, something unstoppable, something unshakable, something that is not shaped by external judgment, but by internal conviction, a force that no one can measure because it did not come from the world. It came from within you, and only you know how deep that well of strength truly runs. The path you walk now feels different because it carries a weight that is both powerful and peaceful. Powerful because you no longer doubt your ability to overcome anything placed before you. Peaceful because you no longer chase what is not meant for you. You do not move with desperation. You move with intention. You do not seek recognition. You seek alignment. You do not fear obstacles. You welcome them because you know each one refines you, strengthens you, and sharpens the purpose that guides your every step. And the people who watch you sense this shift. They feel the calm confidence radiating from your presence. They feel the quiet power that comes from overcoming what once felt impossible. And they wonder how someone like you could rise from circumstances that would have broken most people. The truth is, you rose because you refused to let your pain define you. You refused to let your past limit your potential. You refused to let doubt drown the voice inside you that insisted you were meant for more, even when the world tried to convince you otherwise. And now that voice is louder than it has ever been, not because the world supports you, but because you have finally learned to trust yourself more than the noise around you. And that trust is what allowed you to build momentum when others expected you to fall. That trust is what kept you moving when the path felt impossible. That trust is what separated you from the version of yourself that once accepted limitations. You no longer accept anything less than growth, strength, and purpose. As you move forward, you must remember that being watched is not a burden. It is a signal, a reminder that your actions speak louder than explanations, that your evolution is visible even when you stay silent, that your presence alone challenges others to confront their own choices. Some will be inspired, some will be intimidated, some will distance themselves, but all of them will feel the shift, because a person who rises from their own darkness carries an energy that cannot be imitated. It is the energy of someone who knows what it means to rebuild themselves, piece by piece, and still walk forward with clarity and determination. You don't fully know what you did because you were not focused on impressing anyone. You were focused on surviving, on improving, on becoming someone you could look at in the mirror without regret. And as you kept moving, the world began to take notice, not because you sought attention, but because transformation commands attention. Even in silence, your silence speaks. Your endurance speaks, your growth speaks, and it speaks louder than any words you could offer to those who ask. What changed inside you? What changed is simple. You stopped waiting for someone to save you and saved yourself. You stopped hoping life would get easier and decided you would get stronger. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were too small for your potential. You stopped apologizing for wanting more, for expecting more, for becoming more. And once you made that shift, the world saw a version of you. They were not prepared for a version that moves with purpose and resilience and unwavering certainty. And now every step you take makes people wonder what your next move will be. They watch as you continue rising because they sense a momentum that does not slow down, a focus that does not break, a determination that cannot be shaken. And the more they watch, the more they realize that your journey is not a phase, it is a transformation, a permanent evolution that will only grow stronger with time. And as you move forward, remember this: you are not done, not even close. Your strength is still unfolding, your potential is still expanding, your purpose is still revealing itself, and the world has only witnessed the beginning of what you are capable of. They watch you now, but soon they will witness something far greater, not the end result, but the relentless journey of someone who refuses to fade, someone who refuses to stop, someone who refuses to be limited by the expectations of others, someone who continues to rise no matter how many times they were counted out, someone who embodies resilience so deeply that every setback becomes a stepping stone and every challenge becomes a chance to evolve. And as you continue, remember, the world may watch you, the world may question you, the world may wonder how you rise, but they will never truly understand what you carry inside, because what you carry is not meant for them. It is meant for the path ahead, the path you are destined to walk, the path that only you can complete. And with every step you take, you prove once again that you are not here by accident. You are here by force, by choice, by resilience, by the unbreakable fire that burns within you.